A beautiful, beautiful Monday it is here at High Impact Studios, here at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. My name is Esther Kalu, and it is a very cool morning. I mean, the weather is chilling, the weather is beautiful, depending on where you are listening to us from. But it is your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM, and my name is Esther Kalu. This morning on the newspaper review, I will not be doing this by myself. Onyipriye Kromale, he was just here with me not too long ago, and he'll join us as we get into the conversation. But still in the spirit of the holiday, happy Salah to Muslim brothers and sisters. I know that the public holiday is still in motion for those of us listening at home. There's definitely no traffic this morning. I mean, I was on the road, it was empty. So I know that excuse is not there. But if you're hearing this sound for the first time or you're a regular, this is just a reminder that it is the newspaper review. And the newspaper review on High Impact 102.1 FM comes to you live at 7:05 a.m. every Monday to Friday, whether there is a public holiday or not. So we'll let you know what's going on the papers this morning. I already told you that Kromale is here with me this morning. Good morning, Kromale.
Hello, Esther. Good morning.
Good morning. And first, I want to say that it's good to be back. It's good to be back on radio today.
Yeah, welcome back from leave.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I know you sound like you didn't miss me, but it's fine. We'll talk about it later.
Oh.
What's going on in the news, Kromale? What's been happening?
Oh, well, it's funny. Now, the resident electoral commissioner, Mr. Udu Ari of Adamawa State, who made a falsified declaration in Adamawa supplementary gubernatorial polls is on the run, and I think according to a particular news, there's an headline in the Punch newspaper that says police launch manhunt for the fleeing Adamawa wreck. And I remember vividly Mr. President last week gave his position, approved the investigation, because according to the law, INEC does not have the power to remove the wreck from office or to sack him. But only the president has that prerogative through the advice of 2/3 of the Nigerian Senate. But however, he has given instructions that investigation be launched, instructing the head of the Department of State Services and the commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, including the Inspector General of Police, to investigate the matter and report back. But now that the police has launched manhunt for the fleeing wreck, it's another story that's going to be in the front page of newspaper longer than we thought.
I also see something about the subsidy removal in the news, and I mean, even what is going on in Sudan. I tried as much as I can to follow up with that story, especially with Nigerians and the evacuation going on. But whatever your top story is, when the time comes, the phone lines will be open for you to let us know your top story, where you can leave us a WhatsApp message, you can call us, you can tweet at us, you can leave a comment on our YouTube space. But for now, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the papers for today. The Punch newspaper, the Vanguard, the Guardian, and the Daily Trust newspaper. The top headline, we'll give you top headlines from these papers when we come back from this break. Do stay with us.
Join us Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the newspaper review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Welcome back. Now let's go to stories making the rounds in front page of the Punch newspaper. The central caption talks about the Sudan conflict. It says government seeks Egypt's support to rescue 5,500 Nigerians by road. Government seeks Egypt's support to rescue 5,500 Nigerians by road. Two writers to that story says the federal government wants as Nigerian students pay $100 for dangerous road. We are waiting for Sudanese government to provide safe corridor for evacuation, says minister. Those are the writers to that story. Now, above that particular story, there are three other stories on top of that. And the Punch newspaper, Nigeria's indebtedness to World Bank now 6 trillion naira. You get that story from page 21 of the Punch newspaper. NLNG Train 7 reps summon Daewoo and Saipan over workers' petition. That's on page 23. And police launch manhunt for fleeing Adamawa wreck. Police launch manhunt for fleeing Adamawa wreck on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Beneath that, we go to the bottom of the Punch newspaper. Tinubu may return today to meet APC National Working Committee. It's on page 14 of the Punch newspaper. 2 children, 5 others burnt to death in Lagos-Ibadan highway crash. And lastly, Lagos State government blames developers as another 3-story building collapses. Lagos State government blames developers as another 3-story building collapses. Those are the stories making the rounds on front page of the Punch newspaper. You can call into the program 0700 1021 1021. That is 0700 1021 1021. We are live on Twitter at 1021 FM. We're also live on YouTube at 102.1 FM. And you can send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. 0907 224 5018. Those are the stories making the rounds on front page of the Punch newspaper.
From the Punch newspaper, we move to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Still on the newspaper review, we start with the major caption. We see global competitiveness. Over 30 taxes choke industries in Nigeria. That's on page 20 with some riders. 17 bills on more levies pending in National Assembly. Taxes above global average of 23.37%. SMEs lose 9% of yearly income, and stakeholders chart way forward. That's it on that particular headline. Evacuation of foreigners in Sudan. There's a picture of, foreigners trying to leave the country very swiftly. It's on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And in connection to that story, Sudan war, Nigerians' only way out is evacuation by road. That's according to the federal government. Only way out is evacuation by road. You want to read up that particular report on the Vanguard newspaper. How to tackle insecurity in Nigeria is also an editorial by the Italian envoy that you also want to read up. Zamfara reinstates Emir dethroned for turbaning bandits leader. That's on page 10, and that's on the Vanguard newspaper. FG failed woefully on security. That's according to Catholic Archbishop. Nationwide blackout looms as generation fails or falls below 4,000 megawatts. I don't know how the power supply has been around you, Krumale. It's awfully low in my area.
Well, the power supply for some few days ago, depending on the area, it has fallen somewhat lower than the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Little wonder we can see stories about nationwide blackouts.
Yes.
And I know that a lot of when we listen to people talk, there are references that they made. It's always going to the production aspect or business aspect where there is no power to run, most especially manufacturing companies or who are into not large scale but small scale manufacturing. It's actually increased the cost of business for those persons, and of course they're going to transfer it to the final consumer.
But you can let us know how the past situation has been in your area. I mean, I can say for some parts of Lagos that yes, it's been pretty low. You can call us 0700 1021 1021 or let us know your top story 0907 224 5018. That's where you can send us a WhatsApp message. We're live on Instagram, not on Instagram, I beg your pardon. We're live on Twitter at High Impact 1021 FM, on YouTube at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can let us know your top story. But away from that particular report, APC dissolves presidential campaign council. That's on page 27. And the last I'll take on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, 52 billion naira SWP fund, Articles 8, Keyamo Baker over asset declaration. That's on page 4, and that's as much as we can take on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
And now to stories making the rounds on front page of the Guardian newspaper. Rising poverty costs dampen eSIM adoption. Impact on Nigeria's card production. Rising poverty costs dampen eSIM adoption. Impact on Nigeria's card production. It's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Moving on, Ayetoro. Ondo community slipping into Atlantic Ocean. Ayetoro, Ondo community slipping into Atlantic Ocean. It's on the news analysis page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. Then, close to that, you see Sudan. Federal government negotiates safe exit for stranded Nigerians. Federal government negotiates safe exit for stranded Nigerians. It's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. How unregulated estate agencies firms engage in multi-million naira scam. How unregulated estate agencies and firms engage in multi-million naira scam. It's on page 21 of the Guardian newspaper. Another Lagos building collapses 24 hours after Sanwo-Olu's visit to Banana Island site. Another Lagos building collapses 24 hours after Sanwo-Olu visits to Banana Island site. That's on the Metro page 8 of the Guardian newspaper. And lastly, Matawale reinstates Emir suspended for turbaning bandit kingpin. Bello Matawale reinstates Emir suspended for turbaning bandit kingpin. It's on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. You can call into the program. Tell us which of the newspaper headlines caught your attention and you would like to make one or two comments about it. The number to call 07001021 and 0907-224-5018 for WhatsApp messages. We are live on Twitter, High Impact 1021 FM. We're also live on YouTube at High Impact 102.1 FM. Those are the stories making the rounds on the front page of the Guardian newspaper.
You're You're still listening to your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM, and this is the newspaper review. Yeah, we have reviewed the headlines. We have, read out the headlines on the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, and the Guardian newspaper. Now, on the Daily Trust newspaper, we start with the Sudan crisis. Federal government begins evacuation of stranded Nigerians tomorrow with some riders there. It says 5,500 waiting for government action. That's 5,500 waiting for government action. Students move to Ethiopia, cry for rescue, and airlines bypass.
5,500 waiting for government action.
Good morning.
Students move to Ethiopia, cry for
You're
rescue.
Live. Good morning. We can hear you. Hello. Okay, if you're trying to call us, do well to call us back, but you might need to turn off your radio or turn down the volume when we connect with you, but do well to call us back. Still on the Daily Trust newspaper, hunger and sickness hits Niger IDP's camp, not Niger State IDP's camp, I beg your pardon. That's hunger and sickness hits Niger IDP's camp. That's still on the Daily Trust newspaper. Man killed trying to settle quarrel over urinating point. Oh my goodness. That's also another story on the Daily Trust newspaper. Tinubu returns today amid National Assembly leadership contest. As Buhari's tenure ends, auto policy remains elusive. Matawale reinstates Emir suspended for turbaning bandits leader. This headlines, Krumale. Wow, I'm trying my best to understand the part of Matawale reinstating the emir suspended for turbaning bandits leader. Maybe there is a side to that, but more importantly, the Sudan crisis. 5,500 waiting for government action. Yeah, I'm seeing the part that says that the only option is moving by road. Was that what we read? The only option, or one of the best options?
I think that's the only option for now, because France and one other country tried to evacuate their citizens from Sudan, and whilst the French flight was flying into the Sudan airspace in order to conduct the evacuation of their citizens, they got shot by one of the warring factions in Sudan, and that would have endangered the pilot and every other government official that was, planning to carry out that assignment of evacuating their citizens. So Nigeria they took a cue from that, and they knew that Sudan at the moment is on fire. In fact, the minister, Geoffrey Onyema, while on the story, he conversed with the Nigerian ambassador to Sudan, and the NEMA head of the special duties in NEMA is also part of. NEMA is the National Emergency Management Agency here in Nigeria, who are trying to conduct this operation by evacuating Nigerians. So they resorted to using the road. But however, there's negotiation between Nigerian authorities and the Egyptian authorities. The NEMA boss is already in Cairo, Egypt, negotiating how they can move Nigerians from Sudan to Cairo or to Egypt. No, to Luxor. That's the city in Egypt through which they can then fly them out, because flying into Sudan at the moment now it's not safe.
Yeah,
it's not safe,
and
they are equally in talks with the Sudanese government for the Sudanese government to provide security cover for Nigerian officials who will come in. So there's something that the NEMA boss and the other Nigerian officials said, that Nigerians are more in Sudan, because last week some countries, about 3 or so, Japan is part of them, that evacuated some of their citizens from, not some, I think they evacuated their citizens from Sudan. And when they did that, the NEMA boss was saying those countries who were able to do that, they did that because their citizens were very, very few in Sudan. In that we have lots of Nigerians who are schooling there in Sudan, then you have lots of Nigerians who are even residing there in Sudan. So they can't just carry out the evacuation exercise the same way those other countries like Japan did. It's the only viable route now is through the roads.
I'm seeing some riders here. When you mentioned Jeffrey Oyema, I can see him on the Punch newspaper talking about what happened. Sudan conflict, government seeks Egypt support to rescue 5,500 Nigerians by road. I can see his picture on this particular story when you said so. I had to go read up, and I see that the federal government is warning Nigerian students because they are already paying $100 for dangerous road. So yes. I'm thinking of the desperate means that people can take just to find safety, because as it is right now, those that they are paying are trying to some people are already trying to make money out of the war, out of the crisis, out of whatever is going on in Sudan. But those that are trying to leave might not be reasoning. So they might be calculating the options that if France is going through this, what is our option? Federal government is warning Nigerian students because $100 for dangerous road sometimes might feel like, well, that's the way out. But
you have to take a look at another part of that story.
Okay.
There's complete blackout in Sudan.
Yes.
Telecommunication is down.
Yes.
There is no transportation. The health facilities have been shut down, and there's food scarcity. Because
those that in that center, that are in that area, are also trying to take advantage of these facts. That
it's not about. Is it good? Will you call it taking advantage? They are providing a service, irrespective of the fact that it's at a time of war.
It's dangerous.
Yes, of course. The Nigerians, most especially, and every other person that will be embarking on that dangerous trip should think twice. As for Nigerians, if the Nigerian government is saying stay indoors, wait, we are on our way, then I think they should exercise patience. But somehow you still have to understand that there's no food. Because the National Association of Nigerian Students General Secretary wrote to the federal government last week, and even though the federal government says they are on top of the issue, that was when it was even stated that some of them are sick, or some of the students may have health conditions and they will need medical attention to that effect, and most of those hospitals are shut down. In fact, so the few of them that you can find around, there are no doctors, you only see nurses, and of course you know that expert-wise nurses, there are some issues they cannot attend to. So you could understand even the reason why some of them had to embark on that dangerous trip. But however, safety first.
Yeah,
so you don't run into the warring factions. Talking about the military, the armed forces of Sudan, and the rapid special force of it's a paramilitary organization. It's a paramilitary outfit that is warring with Sudan at this moment, with Sudan armed forces at this moment in time over who becomes the head of government when the former military Omar al-Bashir was ousted from Sudan.
Yeah.
I said Nigeria. The armed forces of Sudan and this paramilitary outfit came together to remove that they call him the dictator or an administration that has been in Sudan for over 2 decades. So when they removed him, there was supposed to be some negotiation and the coming together, the merging of these two military outfits to form a government in Sudan. But whilst they were doing that, there was now argument and conflict over who becomes superior and who becomes the second in command. And I think that's where the negotiation actually fell apart on the negotiation table, which resulted to the current war ongoing in Sudan.
Before we get into some more details in this particular report, I also want you to bear in mind the fuel subsidy story back in the news. Economists urging incoming government to remove fuel subsidy in phases. This is also a major story, because I tried following up with reactions from Nigerians, and you could sense the concern in some people's voices. But it's 7:31. Let's take a break, Krumale. We're due for a break. When we come back, there is so much to talk about on the review this morning. It's a holiday, so I totally believe that how do I put it? I totally believe that there is
a lot of us are at home.
Yes, they are
listening
relaxed.
to radio.
They are listening
and watching High Impact TV.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was saying. Okay, we'll take a break now. When we come back, you can let us know your top story for today. 070010211021 or send us a WhatsApp message 0907-224-5018, or you leave us a comment at High Impact 1021 FM on Twitter, High Impact 102.1 FM on YouTube.
Join us Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the newspaper review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity. Let's help you take it high
and out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information,
call 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Ade, where are you cruising this weekend?
Omo, I'm lounging on High Impact Cruise.
What's that?
Oh, you haven't heard about Eugene One? A luxurious ultra-modern 4-story yacht. Omo, me and Dele chop life. Fabulous music. Then live band play. 3-course meal and different exotic drinks on top Lagos water for 4 hours.
So how far now? What's the level?
You too can come on a cruise and have an unbeatable experience on the waters of Lagos. Dance, drinks, and 3-course meals on Eugene One. Call 0705 095 5987 or 0806 483 1491 now for bookings.
Guy, I'm coming with you.
No. I already arranged with Pat now.
You mean my Pat?
High Impact Cruise. Dream, discover, explore.
Babe, I want to surprise my guy with a good treat. Where would you recommend?
Girl, I've got the perfect place for you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, my family and I were there not too long ago. It was fantastic. And the kids loved it. The apartment was home away from home, the rides, swimming pool, 3D cinema, and the food. Oh my gosh.
Where's this place now?
It's High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort, my dear. It's just away from Lagos and it has everything you need to relax and have unlimited fun.
How do I make bookings?
Oh yeah, call this number 0814-229-9509. Wait, are you booking a suite?
Why?
So I can tag along,
Nikini. High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort. Fun just got real.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the newspaper review on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. We have given you the headlines on the Punch newspaper, the Guardian newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, and the Vanguard newspaper. I'm trying to be sure I didn't miss out any of the papers. But our guest this morning is Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. He joins us via telephone and he's here to discuss the headlines with us this morning. Good morning, Barrister Abdulhamid.
Good morning. Thank you.
I hope it's safe to still say Happy Salah today.
Yeah, it's not it's not late. It's not late.
Happy Eid al-Fitr to you, Barrister Abdulhamid.
Thank you very much. It's not too late. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Barrister, let's talk about what is going on in Sudan. The government is seeking Egypt's support to rescue 5,500 Nigerians by road. I mean, I was just thinking, even before this, how is Sudan a place where Nigerians would even consider to go live in? I mean, if you hear that, there's a brain drain or people are traveling, people are leaving the country, you think that most people are focused on Canada, US, UK, and even if Africa, because Sudan has not entirely been a place that has been, totally peaceful for a period of time. But now it seems that 5,500 people need rescue urgently from the Nigerian government. Let's talk about this headline.
More than that, I feel there. They are still waiting to be evacuated. They are still waiting for them. You see, you have too much number in those other countries, outside Nigeria, because people are tired of staying in Nigeria. You see, when you school in Nigeria and you have a type of 8 months, 7 months, 6 months, or whatever, you're not sure of your calendar. You're not sure of when you're graduating. People prefer to go elsewhere to go and do that, and they do it within time. And probably that answers your question. That answers the question why people go to Sudan or another country to have their education. It's about our quality, the way and manner our education is being run. The education whereby people will just you plan for 4 years first, and you'll be spending like 5-6 years. So people want to avoid those situations, and that's why they are outside the country and they're going to Sudan, as far as Sudan, to go and study. It's unfortunate that as long as we don't put our house in order, we will see more of people moving from the. Because people are ready to move to Afghanistan to go and do anything, to stay there or do anything in those areas. That's as bad as that. So it's unfortunate, and then most times. Nigeria, we don't have emergency plan. We only have we have what's it called? Emergency. We have the emergency call it. They are just there by name. Don't see most time they don't do their work. We don't plan for anything. We only wait for. We're not proactive. We wait for things to happen.
How quickly or how swiftly do you think they should have acted? I mean, how do you think they should have responded?
No, we must always have contingency plan. When this happen anyway, we should know what and what to do. There must be plan on ground already. We should not wait for it till it happen. We should assume that it will happen one day. Then have our plan. You see, we are here and we are thinking, how do we go? What do we say? How do we? Some other countries have done that. They able to evacuate some of their citizens. Why is it difficult? How do you do it? So it shows that we don't plan. Those other people are able to do their own. So we are not able to do it because we are not thinking. Well, in fact, after 2 days or 3 days after, that's when Nigeria starts thinking of we'll go tomorrow, we'll go next tomorrow, or we'll do this way, we'll do that way. We are not proactive sometimes.
Okay, Barrister Abdulhamid, let me take you to Adamawa State. I'm sure you're well aware of the happenings over there. But now the headline says, police launch manhunt for fleeing Adamawa wreck. Mr. Udu Ari, I'm sure you're aware of that story. So what's your take on that?
They did what? I don't know what to say. This is just a joke as far as I'm concerned. Somebody that was escorted by police to a place where he committed his crime is not being looked for. Who are those people looking for him? There was this video I saw of him at the airport being escorted by the security agencies to board a flight or something like that. So now they are saying it can be found. I don't expect anything less than that. I don't know. You see, you can't do that kind of a thing without the backing of people in authority. That's just it. You can't be bold. as good as that to go and do that kind of thing, and without people all backing you. And that's why you saw the what's it called? The Commissioner of Police of that state, seated by his side. You saw the DSS, the civil defense people by his side. So it shows that he has the support of those who are in power to do what he has done. So I am not surprised that he don't know where he is now. Even I'm telling you, even if they are able to arrest him, they will take him to court and nothing will happen thereafter. Hey, they will prepare a charge that will not be able to sustain, and then the matter will be thrown out. That is my prediction of how the case will go.
First, Abdul, let's see how that goes. But because of the number
you
of
come back and tell me I'm a prophet.
We would see how it goes. We will just.
I'm telling you, you come back and tell me.
Can't conclude at the moment. Yeah, we will come back to discuss that.
I'm predicting, I'm prophesizing.
Okay, Barrister. But let's look at fuel subsidy removal. I feel that we have been talking about this thing since I can remember being a journalist. It's been in the news for the longest time. And recently, economists have urged the incoming government would be sworn in May 29th, and they're urging them to remove fuel subsidy in phases. Following the conversation on, from Nigerians and listening to the reactions, there are people who are already concerned because, the calculation of buying fuel for over 700 naira per litre, if subsidy is removed, is already putting the cost of Gari and many other things high automatically without, the cost of production on those items. Now, economists urging incoming government to remove fuel subsidy in phases. How do you see this if it is going to even happen? Because they believe it's going to reduce the severe impacts on Nigerians. Do you think so too?
I don't even know what to say again because I don't even know when time they will remove the subsidy. The subsidy has been removed since this government came into power in 2015. The first thing they did when they came into power was in 2006 to remove subsidy. 2016, sorry, to remove subsidy. That was why the price of fuel moved from 80-something naira to 145,000 or so, 145 naira or so. And then they were told that the extra money from that increase will be used to fix our road and fix other things. Yet, I don't know, nothing has happened. So many other times too, they have been told there was no subsidy, what they are having is under recovery. Later, we are told there's recovery and that there is subsidy. And then, as it is today now, we are talking about subsidy as it is today. The subsidy budgeted for ends in June, and I don't see how, except there's going to be another budget or it's going to be upturned. That's how subsidy will come back. There should be incentive for any government to allow fuel to be sold for 800 naira or 700 naira or whatever price.
How do you mean by how do you mean?
Yes, it will be because it will create more hardship to the people. It's now that we are even buying fuel at 100 something naira, officially they say 100 something naira. There's actually, when you increase the price to 800 naira, so many other things will increase. The cost of transportation will increase, the cost of Gari will increase, the cost of rice will increase, so many other costs will increase, and the salary and other people and other things are not being increased by the government. Nobody is being given extra money. Nobody is being no economic, the environment is not conducive for people who are not even going, who are not even taking salary to make money. So as far as I'm concerned, it will create more doom for our economy. It will create more difficulty for people to live, and then it will be very, very hard for people to sustain that situation. There is nothing. That 11 million naira they say they are going to borrow. I don't know how much they will give people to sustain them. If you borrow $11 million, and let's even assume they are sharing everything to people. You say according to them, they say 50 million people. That no one person will not pay up to 7,000 naira or 8,000 naira. 8,000 naira to sustain subsidy for how many years? What would that 8,000 naira do? So as far as I'm concerned, we are in a difficult situation. Unfortunately, this current regime promised to revive our refinery, promised to build another one. Nothing of course was done, and then we are about to where we were before the 2015. We are in fact better than we are not even better than where we are. We are worse than where we were in fact. As far as I'm concerned, it's a difficult cause. Removing subsidy and allowing people to buy fuel for as high as 500 naira per liter, 7 naira per liter, 4 naira per liter will create more access for people.
Okay. Barrister Abdulhamid, let me take you to another story that came up about a week ago, but now we have another phase of the story. Bello Matawale of Zamfara State reinstates Emir suspended for turbaning bandit kingpin. That story is on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. I'm sure you've heard of that story. What came to your mind?
As usual, I'm not surprised. It's not only Matawale, this is not the beginning. We have seen Boko Haram people who have been arrested and who have been given a welcome. So they have been restored back into the society with a proper transparency. Yeah, you see, and that's why you see more crime being committed in this country. When people commit crime and you don't punish them adequately, you see it will continue to give more courage to other people who are committing the crime. It's unfair for anybody to say that this man is romancing with a terrorist or bandit, and yet he's been pardoned and he's been released and been given back to the country as a king or whatever he is. And then the man that has been alleged, where is he? Has he been arrested? Have you heard anything about him? So it would be unfair to even allow the man to be outside the palace when the main man nothing has been done to him. He has not been arrested, nothing has been done to him, and he's still living large. So, like I said, we are a country where we do this thing the same way and we expect different results. Until we cultivate the habit of punishing people for crime committed or not implementing justice, fair or favor, we can't go. Okay. It's unfortunate that this kind of things happen.
Barrister Abdulhamid, what is the place of, if I may ask, what's the place of the Department of State Services and the place of the police in matters like this?
They are places because the agencies are the SSS, known as the DSS, their work is to do intelligent work and they give us and pass intelligence to other agencies. But today what we have seen is that DSS is now like a police doing the job and whatever they do, they now go after people who are against the government. They now go after people who are considered as anti-government or who are not in the same party with the government in power. That's why we miss it. We are not doing those who are supposed to be security agency, not supposed to be non-partial, are partial. That's why they are not doing their job the way it should be done. So, like I said earlier on, until everybody believes that look, the reality is to the country and not to an individual or the president or the governor or anybody, we can't go. The reality must be to the country. We must be in the interest of the country and not in the interest of a particular party or a particular person who is in charge of the government.
Barrister Abdulhamid, because of our time, and I really want you to touch on this this new story about building collapses. Lagos State government blames developers as another 3-story building collapses. This is on the Punch newspaper, and another 3-story building on Sunday collapsed in the Apapa government reserved area of Lagos State. The state government had claimed that the developers, now just recently in Banana Island there was also a collapse. Now for both the one that happened at Apapa local government and the one that happened at Banana Island, it is the same conversation. They ignored orders on projects. They embarked on construction without a permit. But as much as these are the reasons placed by the government, lives are lost at the end of the day. So is it possible to, remove this, this excuse or this problem totally? How do people even embark on projects like this without getting the right permits? Is it possible to make sure that we don't get this kind of thing in the news? After what happened at Ikoyi, the Ikoyi building collapse, we thought that there would be a reduction in such headlines, but we have that back in the news.
Why are you expecting reduction? What have they done to people who have been found wanting, or some people who are in charge of controlling those, of managing those situations? What have they done to them? Have you heard that anybody has been free? Have you heard that anybody has been arrested? Have you heard that anybody is being taken to court or there's a plan to even interrogate anybody? You can't see any division. Like I said earlier on, we do the same thing the same way. and we expect different results. I think the response of the government is like a template. They have it somewhere. Whenever it happens, they just roll it out and can give it to us. They usually give ridiculous excuse or statement. The place was sealed and the now of seal it. When it's on seal it, what are they looking at? They also let him, they ignore him. They say the man they give him notice to stop work and he ignored it and he continues. And then you allow the man to continue. Without does he have any QS? Does he have any? I don't understand this excuse. And you not see anybody punished. People are collecting salaries. People are being paid with taxpayers' money to monitor and do this job. Nothing is happening. They are not doing their job. So until those who are assigned to do their job sit well and do their job very well, this thing will continue to happen. When what we see in Nigeria is that once this kind of thing happens, you are building your house, they will come and put a mark or seal or something on it. Once you go to them and say to them, that will be the end. They will allow you. You continue. And then when anything happens, they want to judge themselves from it. They are not. There is no excuse to be given by them. They ought to have been sanctioned by now. They ought to have been sanctioned. Some people, why are they sanctioned now? Those who are supposed to be in charge in their panic area should have been suspended. Go to the house, send one day, will finish our investigation. When you continue to do all those things, people will sit tight and say, okay, well, it appears it's no longer business as usual. So you have this today, you see business as usual, you do it and you go scot-free. Nothing will happen. And that's why you see why it continues. People are not doing the job just to ensure things are done the way it should be done. They will do it to ensure that money comes to their pockets. So it's about money, it's about what they will collect from it. And there's no way you can see anything that will change in that respect.
Well, thankfully for the Papa Road building, no life was lost because they all went on the Salah holiday. Yes, thankfully. But I'm just thinking aloud, if most Nigerians would not know a building that can stand or that can collapse just from looking at it on the outside, except the experts. But I mean, I would have really loved to ask maybe an expert how Nigerians can save themselves, but I guess that's not for you to tell us this morning. Thank you for your time, Barrister Abdulhamid. We hope to come back and discuss further on some of these headlines when there are updates, especially on the fuel subsidy removal. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, Krumale, it's been a long conversation with Barrister Abdulhamid, and I mean the ending part of the conversation talking about collapsed buildings. It just dawned on me that there's a role that Nigerians can actually play. When you see a building that has been marked, there's usually that stop work sign written on that building, and you see that construction is still going on there. You can call in on radio, you can send a WhatsApp message and say, hey, such and such building is in my area. There is a stop work sign on it, but I can visibly see construction workers working on this site. I mean, even if the officials came in to maybe spot an error and they have corrected the error and that stop work sign is still there, it's still an extra move to call in or to send a message and say, hey, this is my observation, or if you take a picture and say this is what is going on. Because most times when we see things like that, we feel that it's none of my business.
No, I don't think you even need to wait to see a stop work sign before you either go to the site of the National Emergency Management Agency or Lagos State LASEMA, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, to report such cases.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you see a building in your area where you live, and you see that the building is, from the way the building is standing or from the way the building is built or erected, you know that this particular building is not formidable, it's not solid, it's not strong, or probably there is a building in your area where people have been living in that building for years, for a long period of time, and you could tell that that building is already giving way. The building has become so feeble and fragile, it might collapse anytime soon. Go to the, in fact, if you can't even go online, go to the local government area. If there's a local government office or a local council development area around your area where you stay, call their attention to that building. I think you can, everybody should start doing something, because if you don't do that and your house is close to that building and that building eventually collapse, you are going to suffer loss.
I mean,
and
if
it can lead to the life of loss of persons.
I mean,
So-
if someone even gets, some of these buildings, while they are still under construction, they've been paid for. They've been, I mean, if someone mistakenly pays for that apartment or that building or that property out of desperation, and you hear it and you could have done something to save that person's life, it would be more painful. So yes, I think that what Krumale said is straightforward. Either you go to the local government and make that report, go to LASEMA's website, drop a report, send us a WhatsApp message. If we are probably not discussing that at the moment, leave us that message. If you have pictures or you have videos to capture that, that's fine, or call in and tell us as well. But whatever the case is, do something about it. Krumale.
Yeah, the time is fast spent,
Yes,
and
it is.
this is where we'll draw the curtain on the newspaper review this morning. Many thanks for listening. I am Oyinpriye Krumale, and welcome to a brand new week.
Yes, indeed. I am Esther Kalu. Until I see you next time, do stay safe. Bye-bye.